I never thought I'd watch two uniforms reach for my kid, like she stole something off a shelf, but there I was. By the back fence, radio static, scratching the quiet, my daughter Lily in her pink star boots, whispering to a chestnut mare named Juniper, and a woman with a clipboard, pointing like she'd caught a felon. "Sir, we just need to speak with the child," the older officer said, calm voice, hand up. And behind him, Beverly Crane, from the Sagebrush Ridge HOA, stood with that tight smile people wear when they believe rules make them holy. "That's her," she told them. "The trespasser, the disruptor, the one on common green space," and Lily looked at me like a kid does when she realizes the adult in charge might be lying about her daddy. Did I do a bad thing? Bad. My name is Cole Ramirez. I did 2 tours with the Army, and 1 I don't brag about. I swore I'd leave the command voice in the desert, but it came out by itself. Everyone, stop where you are. Not loud, not soft. Just the sound that drops when something dangerous moves too close to what you love. We moved to North Point for quiet wind in the sage, a place where the last house on Juniper Lane touched Hank Lawson's pasture, where a little girl who lost her mom could lay a cheek on warm horsehair and breathe again. First week, Beverly arrived with a welcome smile. Starched stiff, handed me a handbook like scripture. No clotheslines, no nets, no play, structures above the fence, no animals at the fence, especially that she tapped and I nodded. Sure, we'll read it. What we lived by was simpler. Be kind, close. The gate know where the cereal is, especially the last one. The notes started week 2. Pale envelopes, like warnings. Your minor child was observed disrupting the tranquility of common green space. Please restrict play to your assigned lot. Then a blurry photo of Lily's toy mare, 2 inches past the bottom wire. Then a formal letter with failure to supervise at the top. And I did the neighborly thing, knocked with a copy of my deed and a peach cobbler. Hank swears stops most fights. Her husband opened the door with a golf shirt and a hostage look. Beverly slid in like she'd been waiting backstage. "We're not debating maps, Mr. Ramirez. We are enforcing standards. Your little girl doesn't understand." Boundaries, and I laughed. "Wrong metal on ceramic. She's 8. She understands more than you think." And that's when I noticed it wasn't about offense to her. It was about who belongs. By October, Lily's classmates were repeating dinner table gossip. "My dad says you break rules. My mom says you're trouble. And my kid came home with that brave face that crumples after the door closes. Can I still go see Juniper? She needs me to tell her about Black Beauty, and the day I thought I'd get ahead of it. Beverly called the police on a child. It wasn't a frantic call. It was the smooth cadence of someone who leaves voicemails for a living. This is Beverly Crane at Sagebrush Ridge. We have an ongoing trespasser, a minor, and a non-compliant father with a history of hostility. And I felt the air change in my kitchen. Back by the fence, Officer Hart took in my rolled parcel map. Officer Nguyen crouched to Lily's eye level and asked her name. "Lily, I live right there. This is Juniper. She's my friend." And Beverly cut in like a commercial break, thrust a folder at them. Photographs, measurements, statements. And we are requesting Child Protective Services due to neglectful supervision, and I watched my daughter hear the letters. "CPS like thunder, Daddy. Are they going to take me?" Hank came fast. Hat crooked voice. "Steady, officers. I'm Hank Lawson. That girl has never set foot past this wire. She talks to my mare like a little priest." Then he faced Beverly Ham. "You're leaning so hard on rules you forgot the first one. Be human. and for a second I thought maybe reason would win. That's when the unmarked sedan rolled up purposeful, and a woman stepped out with a canvas tote, a badge that said, "Family Services," and a face that had seen more than this subdivision. Dana Brooks, MSW, and Beverly exhaled like a prayer. Thank goodness we need immediate removal. And Dana didn't even look at her. She looked at Lily, then at the horse, then at my open front door, like she was measuring a home. The way real pros do. She sat with us on the porch steps, where the wood holds the day's heat. Asked Lily what she likes about our house. Asked me. Who shows up for my kid? Asked where the cereal is, and laughed when Lily said middle shelf. But Daddy says no. Ladder climbing looked at a text on my phone that said, "Your daughter's behavior ends today." Final warning punctuation. So prim it felt familiar. Snapped a picture, then walked back to the fence and stood between my little family and that clipboard. Crane. Here's what I see: a grieving child forming a healthy attachment to an animal, a father home. When the bus drops. Who knows where the cereal is? A neighbor willing to stand in the heat with his hat in his hand. This is not neglect. This is not removal. This is adults using systems to bully a family and calling it concern. And Beverly's face did that open, close, open thing. You're not doing your job. And Dana didn't blink. Filing false reports is a crime harassment too. Officer Hart cleared his throat like a man. Glad someone finally said it out loud, started writing parcel number. Hank's statement, my email. While Officer Nguyen handed Lily a carrot from his pocket, like Hope and Juniper took it with that slow velvet mouth. You'd think that would be the end. Yeah, that happened. But people like Beverly don't back away. They escalate. And the next 48 hours were a crash course in petty power flyers, in mailboxes with grainy photos, and phrases like community safety and troubling influences. Anonymous calls to my kid's school that the principal shut down with a voice that must terrify cheaters. 3 men with clipboards at 8 a.m., private investigators hired by the HOA, except later, the treasurer admitted there was no board vote. The tall one asked if I'd like to comment on my anger management, and I told him to get off my porch unless he had a warrant or a pie called Officer Nguyen, who said, "Sir, that's not illegal, but it's slimy, and it edges towards stalking. Call me before you do anything." Army and at work, my boss, Priya Patel, photocopied every note, every flyer. Built a binder said, "If they call the store, I will use my teacher voice and ask for their full legal names. And if you know teachers, you know that's a weapon." Word moved like water misses. Ortiz. From down the cul-de-sac brought muffins and her daughter's card. Olivia Grant. Former Air Force JAG with a smile like a playbook. And in an office with plants that looked hydrated on purpose, she tapped Beverly's pretend authority and said, "We send a harassment and defamation letter today. We warn the HOA that their logo is now radioactive. We prepare a restraining order if she touches your kid again, and we do a records pull on every call Beverly made, so we can put it on the table at the next meeting, cash or peace." Cole pick one, and I said peace, and she said cash tends to follow when the other side doesn't like peace. Then the neighborhood started turning like a flock. Allison. With the Subaru walked up at pickup, cheeks pink. "I owe you an apology. Beverly told all of us you were combative. I believed her, then my daughter met Lily at the fence and came home glowing. I'm sorry. And I told her mother's apologizing in public might save the world. And that night, kids drifted to Hank's fence like birds to a wire, and my shy kid taught them how to hold out a palm and breathe, So a horse can choose you. Juniper lowered her head to 6 little hands. And I swear, you could hear a neighborhood learn something it should have known all along. Justice didn't arrive like fireworks. It arrived like water after Grit, the county attorney, flagged the false CPS call. The police wrote up misuse of emergency services. Olivia's letter landed, and the HOA treasurer and secretary asked Beverly to step down. For now, there was one more envelope with, "You won the battle." Not the war. Luann used it to light the grill. We got a restraining order. To keep Lily's name out of that woman's mouth. The private investigator ducked out of a grocery aisle like I was contagious. The acting HOA president, a math teacher named Jerome Klein, who thinks in spreadsheets and kindness knocked with an apology, and the actual plat map said, "We're rewriting the handbook. So it says, rules are for comfort, not control," brought Lily a Junior Trail Steward sticker that mattered more than it knew. People online want the bow. The scene where Beverly cries and says I was lonely and took it out on you, and I've joined a book club, yeah, that didn't happen. She put her house on the market, took down her president's garden banner, still walks her small dog with a bow. Sometimes our eyes meet, sometimes they don't. The open question is bigger than any of us. Our neighborhoods, documents, or dinners. Do we protect lines on paper harder than we protect kids at fences? Whispering to horses, you know what I mean. My ending is smaller and better. Last week at golden hour sky, the color of a bruise healing. Lily lined up her plastic herd. Kids lined up beside her parents with coffee and guilty smiles. Stood back, Hank cracked the gate, just enough for curiosity to make the choice, my daughter said. "Breathe off her. Don't take hands up like this." And the mayor stepped